British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon. I'm Sophie Hansen with your news updates to 3 o'clock. Some breaking news. The RCMP say suspects are at large, but the public is not at risk following a triple homicide at the home in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. Staff Sergeant Brian Nichols didn't give details about the victims or why the public shouldn't be worried, but he says it appears the victims were targeted. The bodies were discovered after officers were asked to do a wellness check at the house on Wednesday afternoon. Multiple media reports from the scene show yellow police tape blocking off a home in Saskatchewan's side of Lloydminster. Air Canada is asking the federal government to be ready to intervene in its labor talks with pilots before the potential strike. The two sides will be in a position starting Sunday to issue a 72-hour notice of a strike or lockout. Air Canada says it, quote, faces a reasonable wage demands and from the pilots' union that it can't meet. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said during an appearance in Vancouver that the government urges both sides to continue talking towards a resolution.
We've been following the Air Canada situation closely. We remain firm that the best deals happen at the bargaining table, and that's where parties need to keep working. The minister's actually going to be meeting with the parties today to impress on them the fact that millions of Canadians are counting on everyone to get this resolved.
The union said corporate greed is holding up talks as Air Canada continues to post record profits while expecting pilots to accept below-market compensation. Now, a new and cost-effective e-scooter system has been introduced in East Vancouver. Reporter Lauren Achille has more on why this specific launch stands out.
This morning, Lime and the City of Vancouver announced their first ever docked e-scooter system in North America. Jacob Tugendrak, Senior Communications Manager at Lime, says Vancouver took a unique approach. He says it has a different system than the City of Richmond's existing Lime scooter program, reminding riders to now park their scooters at these new docks.
And so what was important to Vancouver was bringing all the benefits that come with shared micromobility, sustainable transportation, supporting small businesses, connecting to public transit, but also really keeping the parking system organized.
He adds that they will analyze demand and ridership to see where Lime can pop up next. Lauren Achille, BCIT's The Crow.
And Lauren joins us in the studio now. Lauren, because these parking docks are the first of its kind to Lime and its riders, what sort of issues could arise from that new addition?
So Tugendrak said that there is a chance of riders not docking their scooters because in cities like Richmond and the North Shore, people can ride their scooters and park them on the side of the road.
So first there was Richmond and then there was the North Shore. Why is Vancouver only launching this now?
So Tugendrak said that Vancouver took more of a detailed approach, creating the request for proposal because of the docks. The city wanted to make sure that they could iron out the bumps that other cities faced with their Lime scooters.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Statistics Canada shows that the average age of retirement is 67, but for some, that's just impossible. Our reporter Emily Deneen finds out what the younger generation can do to prepare.
Carol Kelly says that pension is one of the best things you can have in order to retire early. She notes the influence she's had on her daughter and the changes from her generation to now.
People are retiring early, so they're making smarter decisions on their life, making sure they have pensions and stuff like that. But my daughter, okay, who's now 30, has been had a pension for 5 years. Most young people don't, but I think she did because of me. That pushed her to realize that I had no retirement.
Kelly continues to work hard, and there's no sign of her slowing down soon. Emily Deneen, BCIT's The Crow.
An expert with BC Wildfire Service says relentless drought conditions for much of the province has set the stage for more fire activity this fall. Superintendent of Predictive Services Neil McLaughlin says aggressive fire behavior continues in northern BC, where fires are expected to remain active possibly into next spring.
Fuels remain critically dry, particularly in the northern half of the province, and will continue to remain dry through the fall, as we are expecting slightly above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation.
He says that while the amount of new lightning-sparked wildfires are expected to go down in the coming weeks, dry vegetation remains a concern as it's highly susceptible to ignition. In more wildfire news, formal charges have now been filed against a man accused of starting one of 3 large wildfires burning in Southern California. ABC reporter Alex Stone has more on the accused.
34-year-old Justin Holstenberg is now charged with a long list of arson counts. San Bernardino County District Attorney Jason Anderson says 3 incendiary devices were found, indicating Holstenberg tried to start multiple wildfires.
Arson is just one of those crimes that is, to me, unbelievably despicable because it's a head-scratcher. There's no value to be had out of arson.
A motive for allegedly setting the fires is not clear, and investigators believe Holstenberg could have started more wildfires. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Tech companies commit to fighting harmful AI sexual imagery by curbing nudity from datasets. Several leading artificial intelligence companies pleaded Thursday to remove nude images from data sources and committed to other safeguards to stop the spread of harmful sexual deepfake imagery. Tech companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and OpenAI said they would voluntarily commit to removing these images from AI training datasets when appropriate and depending on the purpose of the model. The White House announcement was part of a broader campaign against the image-based sexual abuse of children, as well as the creation of intimate AI deepfake images of adults without their consent. The former director of Canada's spy agency told the federal public safety minister last year that more cases of employee harassment and violence would emerge after allegations of sexual assault went public. Thompson Rivers University law professor Matt Malone says obtained materials reveal a number of issues employees face at the spy agency.
This is very much a situation of where there's smoke, there's fire. This workplace assessment is indicative of deeper-rooted problems in the service. And you can see that. There is an admission that most parties disagreed with the characterization of toxic work environment, but there's very uniform and very consistent discussion around the shortcomings of leadership.
CSIS says it currently has 5 ongoing harassment investigations. Now, a new report about the federal law enforcement response to the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas, has found no wrongdoing, but a lack of critical training and communication. ABC reporter Quinn Owen has more on the report and its findings.
Customs and Border Protection personnel lacked training on responding to school shootings, the report found. The agency now taking a number of steps to correct its policies and procedures. Federal agents must have a better understanding of their authorities in responding to mass casualty incidents, according to the report. CBP agents are undergoing additional training to better prepare for school shootings. Quinn Owen, ABC News.
2 brothers have been arrested and charged as they assaulted a New York Times photographer inside of the U.S. Capitol during a mob's attack on the building more than 3 years ago. David Walker of New Jersey and Philip Walker of Pennsylvania are also charged with stealing a camera from the photographer during the January 6, 2021 attack. The FBI says a live stream video posted on social media shows the photographer standing on top of the East Rotunda stairs just before the Walkers assaulted her. The Walkers were arrested at their respective homes on Thursday. More on gun policy. Georgia's State House speakers say lawmakers will consider new gun policies in 2025. They include universal background checks, mandated safety lockup for guns, and a red flag law, letting the states temporarily take guns from someone in crisis. Georgia's State House speaker says those changes could include increased student access to mental health care, safe gun storage, and information sharing among schools, police, and health professionals. Burnaby is mainly cloudy today with some breaks throughout in the evening with a high of 19 and a low of 12. These have been your news updates. Stay tuned for sports with Nicholas Hauka. I'm Sophie Hansen for BCIT's The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good afternoon. This is BCIT's The Crow Radio Live. I'm your boy, Nicholas Hauka. We love sports headlines. I got just what you need, a brand new sports update to 3:15. The Buffalo Bills visit the Miami Dolphins tonight in prime time for Thursday night football. The two AFC East rivals are both 1-0 after big wins on home soil last week. Kickoff is at 5:15. A football player at Division II West Virginia State was fatally shot during what the university says is being investigated by police as a home invasion. Charleston police say the body of a linebacker, Zyleek Zaire Harrington, was found inside an apartment Wednesday night. Police say several gunshots were fired during a disturbance in a hallway and inside the apartment. The 21-year-old Harrington was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say they have no information on a possible suspect. A moment of silence is planned Friday before West Virginia State's home opener. Hall of Fame linebacker Joe Schmidt, who helped the Detroit Lions win 2 NFL titles, has passed away at 92. The Lions said the family informed the team Schmidt died Wednesday. A cause of death was not provided. One of pro football's first great middle linebackers, Schmidt played his entire NFL career with the Lions from 1953 to 1965. An 8-time All-Pro, he was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1973. The Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium will have a new name for their first home game of the year Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. The field will change its name from Everbank to Trevor Bank Stadium, named after starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence, according to the Jaguars' Twitter account. This change will only last 1 week, as it's a promotional change due to Lawrence's new partnership with Everbank. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes fielded questions from reporters today regarding former U.S. President Donald Trump recently, who was referencing Mahomes' family. Trump started referencing Mahomes' wife last month after she had liked and then unliked an Instagram post by the Republican presidential nominee, outlining his party's platform. Mahomes said he's ignoring Trump's comments.
Brittany does a lot in the community. I do a lot in the community to help bring people up and give people other opportunities to use their voice. And so it's in the political times, people are going to use stuff here and there, but I can't let that affect how I go about my business every single day and live my life.
An investigator gave the World Anti-Doping Agency a pass on its handling of the case involving Chinese swimmers, but not without hammering away at the, quote, unsatisfactory, unquote, way in which the agency disregarded key rules designed to safeguard global sports. The investigator analyzed WADA's handling of the case involving the 23 Chinese swimmers who remained eligible despite testing positive for performance enhancers. Canada's top male tennis players have defeated Finland 3-0 at the Davis Cup. Denis Shapovalov beat Iro Vasa in 2 sets in the day's first singles match. Felix Auger-Aliassime then dispatched Otto Virtanen in the second match of the day. Finally, Shapovalov and Auger-Aliassime teamed up to beat the Finns in doubles play. Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Edwin Usada has been punished for intentionally throwing the ball at another player. Getting Coolbaugh on how long the Rays will be expected to miss him.
Rays pitcher Edwin Usada has been suspended for 3 games and fined for intentionally throwing at Nick Castellanos, an action that propelled the Phillies outfielder to say, quote, "That's like my 2-year-old throwing a fit." Tampa Bay manager Kevin Cash was suspended for 1 game and also fined an undisclosed amount by MLB. Cash served his suspension during Wednesday night's game at Philadelphia. If Usada appeals, the penalty would be delayed. The 26-year-old right-hander has made 25 appearances out of the bullpen this season, pitching to a 1.49 ERA with 51 strikeouts. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
After this update, hear my thoughts on the NCAA's choice to change up its conferences. That was your sports update to 3:15. I'm Nicholas Hauka, and so I have to say before I go that I just want you to know you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
The Pacific 12 Conference has added 4 Mountain West schools to play in the conference for 2026. This newest realignment further adds to a huge problem in college football. That problem, changing conferences for maximum viewership and breaking away from traditional rivalry games late in the season. The Pac-12 was stripped this year of every top team within their conference, including the Oregon Ducks and USC Trojans.
Now the same thing just happened to the Mountain West. Fans of the two conferences are left with a jumble of teams with no history between one another. What makes college football so special is the history and passion between programs. The intensity from an interconference game between the teams who play each other every single year is dying. Even if the NCAA protects rivalries with preseason games, it won't have the same implications as before. There's a different level of intensity when rival teams are playing each other with a bowl game or a college football playoff spot on the line late in the year. Even if a team was struggling all season, they could bask in the glory of shattering a rival school's national championship chances with a late-year win. With these changes, this is starting to disappear. This is unquestionably for the worse, and college football fans should be furious. Nicholas Hauka, BCIT's The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.